Power to the truth. This is Margo. This is Wednesday, April the 10th, 2019, 6:28 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. I'm going to do a very short follow-up on information about Candida auris, and then we're going to go over some space weather, and then we're going to go over earthquakes. So it's going to be a little bit different kind of show tonight. And I decided to post the email response from Global Healing Center on my website, and you can, I'll leave the link below. I posted it today. It's called Information About Candida auris. My website is margoshealingcorner.com, but this is a different part of the website. You'll be redirected to this website. It's GLC for Green Living Coaching, glc.margoshealingcorner.com. So either way, if you put in margoshealingcorner.com, it will redirect you to this part of the website. So yeah, I redesigned my whole website when I stopped doing implant removal work, and it was just easier to set it up like this with WordPress. So I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. If people are interested, they can certainly come over here and read it, but I will read the opening. Candida auris, or C-auris, has become a hot topic in the news recently. This is a new form of candida that has proven to be resistant to traditional drug therapy and deadly to over half of those who contract it. I did an informational video on C-auris on April the 8th, 2019. It is embedded below. Additionally, I emailed the customer support staff at Global Healing Center, supplier of alternative supplements, asking if any of their products would be effective against C-auris. I received a prompt reply with lots of good information on Candida and how to manage it, along with links to articles and products they recommend. I'm posting a copy of the email from Daniel with all the information and links for any who desire to follow up. I'm not a medical professional and am not prescribing or offering medical advice. However, for myself, I always seek a natural course of treatment first and have had more success with herbs and natural remedies than with allopathic medicine. And if you click there, it'll take you to Global Healing Center, and I really like these people, and it was started by a chiropractor, Dr. Edward Crute, and he did a whole bunch of research into natural healing and stuff, and the whole website is just a wealth of information, and their products are really good. They're based out of Texas, and it's free shipping on most orders, and they have an eBay store too, and you can get free shipping on anything from their eBay store if you're in the United States. They ship really fast. Their customer service is excellent, and I highly recommend these people. And I've been taking the Mycozil for a while, and I've gotten a lot of relief with that. But here's the video. I've embedded it, the information video on C-auris that I did a couple of days ago. It's on my YouTube channel. And so here's my question to them, and then it's a long reply talking about Candida in general. But so the implication is that if you can address the Candida issue in general, even though this is a different strain, I'm thinking that that you'll be better equipped to go a natural route. But again, I'm not a medical professional, and if you you want to seek the advice of your physician, certainly do that. So I will leave the link below for this article or this post of mine, and I've also got it posted on my Subscribestar page as a public post. And by the way, I'm doing really well. I'm up to 10 subscribers now, and I've got 65 posts. A lot of the posts are public, and this is at subscribestar.com/Margo if you would like to support my work and join us over here. And I do private videos and private posts, and I also do a lot of public posts, and I'm doing detailed methane, short detailed methane videos whenever new methane data comes out on cams, and those are for my members. And anyway, and other stuff that I'm going into topics that I normally wouldn't go into publicly, like on YouTube. And if I decide, I might decide to do a more in-depth video about Candida auris, and if so, it will not be on YouTube. I've decided I'm going to move over to Vimeo for some of my items, or if it's short enough, I can just post it here. So, but for anyone coming over here, you're certainly welcome. And my subscription is only $5 a month and you've got access to everything. I don't have a whole bunch of tiers like some people do on Patreon, and so I mean, you can't beat it for what you get. It's a one-stop shop over here. So here's my post about Candida auris, and here's the link to Global Healing Center, and then here's the link to my blog post, and so there's that. And if you want to see my public post from today, and we're going to be going over some space weather, space news, not space weather, but I've posted a whole bunch of stuff over here about space today, and this is my other lead story today. This is about an Israeli lunar landing that's scheduled to happen tomorrow, April 11th. This was in the news back in February of 2019, announcing the 30 million page library of human history to be taken to the moon, and it's going to be deposited on the moon. But no word since then. Space IL, I think there's no space between space and IL anyway. Space IL will be live streaming the event. Several links are below regarding this. It's a huge deal. So here's a post from February the 14th about the first private space probe to go to the moon, and how it could bring a new era of space exploration. It's not from the government. It is a private funded, but it is from Israel. And then this article, a 30 million page library is heading to the moon to help preserve human civilization. That was put out or published on February 28th. And it says the massive archive is aboard Israel's Bereshit spacecraft. And there's a link to that article. And we haven't heard anything since then. And everybody was posting about this. Everybody was talking about this. That's why I didn't report on it. I like to report on things that nobody's reporting on, or very few. And then I looked on Space Weather today, and they had a little blurb about the lunar landing tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, that's tomorrow. So here's a link, Bereshit, and Bereshit is Hebrew, and it's the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and it means Genesis, or in the beginning. So Bereshit is about to land on the moon, and here's the article to that, and how you can see the live stream and all that stuff. And I also have spaceweather.com pulled up, and here is their top story on, this is from today. And oh, by the way, if you want to come back over here, you want to find stuff, you can look through their archives. So they've got it listed Thursday, April 11th, but I guess they're in a different part of the world or something. I'm on April the 10th. So it says private moon landing tomorrow. When humans return to the moon, it might not be NASA sending them. While America's next moon rocket is billions of dollars over budget and years behind schedule, a small Israeli company is poised to touch down on the moon tomorrow. Their robot, named Bereshit, is scheduled to land on Mare Serenitatis, the Sea of Serenity, on April 11th around 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The event will be live streamed by Space.il, the first private company to land on lunar soil. Robots now, humans next. Stay tuned. So here's the link if you want to see. And this is Space.il, and this is their countdown to the live streaming. And you click to view broadcast locations for the public. Landing the first Israeli spacecraft on the moon. So, and I wanted to show you something else. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Is it here? Oh yeah, I've got the link below for this one. This is about the probe that's landing, and it's about the size of a large refrigerator. I mean, look how small that is. So that's what's going, and it doesn't weigh very much, and it's a new technology, and if it's going to go a long distance, instead of rolling, it hops. It's got jet propulsion, and so it lifts off the ground and hops. So it's a whole new technology they're testing out. It says Bereshit is the first word in the Hebrew Bible meaning in the beginning. Okay, I said Hebrew language. I was mistaken. Hebrew Bible meaning in the beginning. It's also the apt name of the robotic lander that an Israeli startup is planning to launch to the moon on February 21st. So it launched on February 21st, and now it's going to land tomorrow on April 11th. If the mission succeeds, Bereshit will be the first Israeli spacecraft to travel beyond Earth orbit and the first private lander on the moon. The mission could also mark the beginning of a new space flight era, one in which companies go where previously only nations have gone. So, anyway, it's a huge deal. They're going to be mapping the moon with magnets and lasers. And so on and so forth. So I found it, I mean, it's interesting if you're interested in space and what's going on there. I mean, this is just not in the news today. And it's landing tomorrow, so why is this not in the news today? And here's an article, just in case you didn't see it, about the 30 million page human history that's going up there, or library. And I looked at this when all these articles were first coming out, and it's incredible. The world in a disc, and they made all these little metal discs and etched into the metal discs. But anyway, they've got collections of songs, children's drawings, and writings about Israeli culture and history. I don't know how, they supposedly have history of other cultures too, but they're kind of like showcasing that, since they're the ones taking it. The rest is truly encyclopedic. Included in the Lunar library's more than 200 gigabytes of data are the entire English language version of Wikipedia, tens of thousands of fiction and non-fiction books, a collection of textbooks, and a guide to 5,000 languages, along with 1.5 billion sample translations between them. And all that information is etched onto 25 stacked nickel discs, each just 40 microns, about 1/600th of an inch thick. And they had to use nanotechnology to make those discs. I read all about it. So if we want the aliens to learn our language, that's one way they can do it, whether they're good aliens or bad aliens. So there's that. And then here's the other link about this I have up. Bereshit is about to land on the moon, and this is from planetary.org, and it's a blog post. And they're not saying exactly when, but it arrived at the moon, and it's been orbiting it since April the 4th, and it's been lowering its orbit in a series of burns. So here are the landing times for April 11th between 2200 and 2300 Israeli time, or Israel, 1900 to 2000 UTC, 15 to 16 EDT. So that's between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern time, and between 12 and 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that's tomorrow if anybody wants to watch. I mean, I think this would be interesting to watch. I think I'm going to watch it. Then they're showing where they're going to land, and the terrain and what it looks like and all that. So I just think it's fascinating. So there's that. And now, if we want to look at some more space news, NASA's lunar orbiter spots moving water molecules on the moon. My new mouse likes to move too far. A groundbreaking 2017 study from Brown University suggested that there may be substantial amounts of water inside lunar rocks. At the time, the discovery was a major shift from the consensus view that most water on the moon is located near its poles. So they're finding water in lunar rocks. So this is, when you click on that link, it goes to futurism. And that's actually from March 11th, but I found that interesting. And then also, top headline that's all over the news today is the first ever black hole image released. It has a mass 6.5 billion times that of the Sun, and it is one of the heaviest black holes that we think exists. It is an absolute monster, the heavyweight champion of black holes in the universe. So here's an article from BBC showing there's the black hole. And I'm sure most of you have seen something on this today. So this is eclipsing the Israeli lunar landing for tomorrow, which I think is, just as phenomenal. And taking the 30 million page library so that aliens can know about us after we've gone extinct. So those are my public posts that I put up from today. Oh, and here's one. It's not space related. Washington State bans free books to prisoners for no logical reason. So censorship is happening everywhere. It's just happening everywhere. So I'd love for you to join me over here. And we've got a little group, but we're growing every day. So I'd like to thank everyone who's subscribing and donating and supporting my work, and it helps me and gives me more confidence, in addition to the financial support is definitely going to help out. So and it's a safe place for us to come and look at things and be able to be together and share stuff while things are coming down. So now let's get right into earthquakes. I have USGS pulled up for the last 24 hours, and we're seeing 211 earthquakes for all magnitudes worldwide. And of those, 32 are 2.5 magnitude and higher. So let's see what's about to come off the map. Okay, we've got to cover this one up in Russia. We'll cover this one. This is a most unusual earthquake. Most of the time they don't even report them in Russia, but this was a 4.1 that came in near Evikanot, Russia at 7:33 last night. And this is considered an Arctic, it's in the Arctic region. It's right up here just across from Alaska, just across from the Bering Strait, or Bering Strait is right here. Here's the Chukchi Sea, and remember that sea ice has already melted in the Bering Strait, and there's sea ice up along here but it's going to be melting soon now that the sun has come up. So as the sea ice melts and the permafrost, we've seen lots of methane releasing all across Russia in our methane reports, and as that's is indicating permafrost melting, and as that melts, it shifts the weight on the tectonic plates, and it's going to be causing earthquakes. And so here's a good example right here in the Arctic, right here in Russia. So that was a good sized one. And we're good on those others. So let's just move on around then, coming on down. Let's start over here. Now we've got another earthquake here at near Mohian, India, in the Andaman Sea at a magnitude 4.7 at 8:09 this morning. And these times are Pacific time, because that's my time zone. Did I give the time on that Russian earthquake? 7:33 last night. Okay. Coming on around to Indonesia, 5.0 near Tuvalu at 12:28 this morning, 219 kilometers deep. Well, I'm kind of surprised they have a little wave there with it being that deep. Maybe that's for information purposes only. So let's see. No, there's nothing there today. So no tsunami warning from that. Or danger, you know. So many of the buoys are not functioning. We don't know if we're in danger or not half the time. Here's a 4.4 magnitude on land in Indonesia near Albapura at 4:51 this morning, 35 kilometers deep. Coming on around, there was a 5.0 near Val, New Caledonia at 10:57 last night, 22 kilometers deep. Nothing else reported on land, it doesn't look like. Coming over to South America, was a 4.3 near Machala, Chile at 5:18 yesterday afternoon, 107 kilometers deep. Man, I'm so hoarse. I get hoarse at night. Here's one at Costa Rica, 4.0 near Tiburon, Costa Rica, that came in last night at 10:39 p.m. Now that's close to that red line, and they also have a lot of volcanoes there, active volcanoes in Costa Rica, so that doesn't surprise me, but it was on land. Okay, so that's all of the international ones, it looks like. So let's move on to others. I pulled up all magnitudes here. Hawaii is showing 13 here today. I'm going to call them off. Let's get a little closer. 2.0. This is at Mauna Loa. Last night at 7:35 p.m. at a minus 1.1 kilometer depth, so it was up in the chamber. 1.7 on the flank of Kilauea at 10:09 last night. 1.7 looks like in the ocean near Pahala at 4:15 this morning. 2.4 Leilani Estates, 4:35 this morning. 1.9 at Mauna Loa again at 8:23 this morning at a minus 1.3 kilometer depth. 1.8 Leilani Estates at 8:25 this morning, very shallow, 0.3 kilometer depth. 1.9 at Mauna Loa again at 11:09 this morning at a minus 2.6 kilometer depth. 1.9 Mauna Loa at 11:09. Oh, I just said that. 1.9 off the coast here to the west of Mauna Loa at 12:07 this afternoon. 2.0 near Pahala at 2:55 this afternoon. 2.6 near Pepikio, that's up in the northeast part, at 4:11 this afternoon. 1.8 at Pahala at 4:50 this afternoon, and a 2.6 near Nanawali Estates at 5:20 this afternoon. So that's quite a bit of activity. So it's picking up. Things are happening. Things are definitely changing and happening quickly. Now let's come on over to the Dominican Republic. We've got 11 here today. I'll call them off. 2.8, 2.9, 2.6, 2.8, 2.1, 2.7, 3.0, 2.0, 2.4, 2.9, and 3.1. So those weren't big enough to cause damage, but it's showing movement over there in the Caribbean. Now let's hop on up to Alaska. So in Alaska, including that one in Russia, we've got 54 on the map today. So 53 of those are considered Alaska territory. So Alaska averages between 50 and 100 earthquakes a day. It's very earthquake prone. Here's a 3.1 near Little Sitkin Island in the Aleutian Islands. Here's a 3.9 near Adak. Here's a 2.4 Larsen Bay. 2.3 Kodiak Station. Now let's see what's over 2.5 magnitude. I already got those two. Kobuk is quiet today as far as 2.5 magnitude. I'm going to start down here. Here's a 3.3 at Yakutat, 3.4 Cape Yakutaga, 2.6 Old Iliamna, 2.5 Anchor Point, 3.0 Nikiski, 3.3 Big Lake, that's the Anchorage area, and 2.7 Badger. So now let's look at all magnitudes again. And so we only are showing 2 at Kobuk today, a 2.4 and a 2.0, both at surface level, 0 depth. Here's a 1.6 at Tanana, or near Tanana. And we'll see they're just peppered around, coming down through the middle of the state. And so this is not nearly as many as we have seen in the past up here. So it's a little calmer. Now let's come on down into the lower 48. Okay, we're going to start over here. Here's another one in the New Madrid hazard zone. 1.9 kilometers south of New Madrid, Missouri at 7:40 this morning. 7.3 kilometers deep. Remember that area flooded with that huge bomb, winter storm bomb, or whatever they called it. 2.5 near Harper, Kansas, and there's a 1.9 there too, near Harper, Kansas. Okay, moving on into Utah. We've got 3 here today. We've got a 3.2 near Farron, and a 1.1 near Farron, and a 0.6 near Park City, Utah. So the 3.2 was higher than we normally see there. Now let's come on up to the Yellowstone region. I remember we saw that cluster here near Lima, Montana, so it looks like it's still clustering. So let's get these others out of the way, and then we'll look at Lima. Here's a 1.0 near West Yellowstone, Montana. Where was that other one? I'm lost. Oh, we've got so I don't know what's going on. I am so lost up here. Well, we got a cluster here at Lincoln. Look at this. It's not just 1 or 2. I thought it was 1 or 2, but there's 8 here at Lincoln, Montana, all in the same place. I'll call them off. 1.0, 1.1, 1.1, 1.0, 0.9, 1.2, 1.1, and 1.3. And those were all between 9/11 last night, interesting number, and 6:57 this morning, and nothing there since then. So I know, there are a lot of videos out there about Yellowstone, and I know that it's, or I don't know, I mean, I'm just saying it's waking up, and I don't know when everything is going to happen, when it's going to shake loose, but we're just watching it. That's all we're doing. We're watching it. So now here's a cluster of 8 down at Lima, Montana. I'll call these off, and these started at 8:09 last night. 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 2.2, 3.4, now that's higher, 1.2, 2.6, and 2.6. Now, our friend Nostradamus messaged me today, aka Dave Alcock from the UK, and he was saying that these earthquakes here from yesterday, they were downsized. They were like 3.5 and 5.0, and then they were downsized because he was watching them come in. I was gone. I wasn't watching as they were coming in, so I believe him, you know. I mean, they downsize all the time. So thank you, Dave, for that tip. So now we're going to look at the Pacific Northwest, and we're going to start with our real-time tremor map. We've had 3 in the last hour, but in the last 24 hours, it's been pretty quiet. We've only had about 10, and California, that is spooky not to see anything in California. And they're just peppered around up here, between the, right on the line between Portland and Washington, and then a couple up here north of Seattle. That's it, and one up here. So that's kind of creepy to see it that quiet. So as far as earthquakes go, we've got a 1.7 at Friday Harbor. We've got a 1.1 near Des Moines. And we've got a 2.1 other event. 2.1 magnitude other event, 15 kilometers east-northeast of Quinault Census Designated Place, Washington. This happened at 2:59 this morning at a minus 0.8 kilometer depth. So who knows what that is? It was probably some kind of blast or explosion, but they're calling it another event. And here's one right in the middle of, well, it looks like, well, it's near Mount Rainier, but here it looks like it's in a crater. Let's look this one up. This was a 0.9, Packwood, Washington, at 3:17 this afternoon at a minus 1.6 kilometer depth. So let's look on Google Earth for this. We might even plug in that other event thing too, just for the heck of it. Oh yeah, that is in the middle. It's Mount Rainier. So it's right there in the crater. Here's the edge of the crater. And it's right there. It's up in the side. Or no, okay. Sorry, here's the crater. And this is the side of the volcano. You can see it. I didn't look at it right. So that means the magma is moving up in there. It was a small one, but small ones count. Let's look at that other event too. Let's see where this is. Let's see what's over there. Here we go. Hang on. our little marker is not showing up. Wonder why that is. Well, I guess it's right here. The marker's not showing up though, for whatever reason. Mount Olympus. So it's not very far from Mount Olympus, so another event. Other event, who knows what they're doing. It's in the middle of the forest. It's in Olympia National Forest. So whatever happened there, I have no clue. So that was a big one though, 2.1 magnitude. If it was a blast or an explosion, that was definitely big. And now, I don't like this mouse. Over here on the edge of this Juan de Fuca plate, we've had two. A 3.1 that came in today at 4:20 this afternoon, and a 4.7. This is, they're calling it off the coast of Oregon. This came in at 7:11 this morning. So this is that Juan de Fuca plate. This is the Cascadia subduction zone. And so if this moves, then this could slip and fall, and we could have lots of problems. And some geologists say that it could even trigger Yellowstone to go. So I'm just saying, time is short, and we need to get right with God and Jesus, get our spiritual houses in order right now while we still can, because when you got a 300-foot high tsunami wave coming at you, or however high it is, you're not going to be thinking about anything but running or just going under. And so you're not thinking about what's going to happen to your soul at that point. So time is short, folks. Okay, we've got a 0.4 magnitude earthquake that happened last night at 8:26 p.m. In Lassen Park, next to Lassen Peak, which is a volcano. That's in Northern California. I do not like this mouse. Here's one southeast of Chico, a 1.7 near Durham at 4:01 this morning. Now this is getting closer to Oroville, and here's the Oroville Dam. Oh, and by the way, I was watching the local weather a while ago, that as of April 1st, they're recorded right now 13 feet of snow on top of Mount Rose. That's the big mountain outside of Reno here, where everybody goes and skis. And that's starting to melt. It's all starting to melt. Here's a 1.7 magnitude near Quincy at 2:16 this afternoon. Here's a 0.4 near Cold Springs. Here's 1.5 and minus 0.1 near Truckee, just north of Truckee. Here's one at 0.1. It's on the highway. It's on I-80. Just before you get to Truckee. This came in at 2:36 this afternoon. It's right on the highway there. And Mount Rose is right up here. Okay, looks like northern Nevada is clear. Now let's see what's it's slow in southern Nevada. We've just got a couple down here. Small, 0.5 and 0.1. Here's Hawthorne, 7 showing at Hawthorne. We have a cluster here, it looks like. But they're ones and under. Now let's look at the geysers. Got 37 here on the map today. Let's see how many of these in California are 2.5 and higher. None. Okay. So at the geysers we've got 37. That's a high number. The highest one it looks like was a 2.0, and the rest are ones and under. Coming on down, in the San Francisco area was a 0.7 near Crockett, 1.3 near Berkeley, 1.5 near Oakland, 1.5 near San Martin, 1.7 Tres Pinos, 0.7 near Ridgemark. This is right on this red line, which is the San Andreas Fault line. Here's 2 together, 0.9 and 0.5 near Parkfield. Now we're coming into Southern California. Here's a blast. 1.0 quarry blast near Tehachapi. Here's a 1.3 Granada Hills. .3 Colton. And back out a little. Here's another blast. 1.6 quarry blast near Chula Vista. So in Southern California, including that one up here near Simi Valley, we've got 23 here today. So that's not very many. And most are ones and under. 2.0 near Idlewild. Now let's come up the east side. See what's going on. Here's a 1.9 near Tacopa. 1.7 and 1.1 Coso Junction. Okay, here's Mammoth. Mammoth Lakes and Long Valley. We've got 8 here today. They're small, they're ones and under. I think that's a wrap. Oh, what just came in over here? 2.4 Saratoga Springs, Utah. That one just came in, 706. So that's south of Salt Lake City. Okay, here's a new one. This just happened in Iran. This was on land at 4.0 near Garage, Iran at 6:39 this evening. Next to that red line. So I think that's a wrap. Let's just look back through here. Yeah, we got everything. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. And, you know, everybody needs to think about what's going to happen once they leave here. So, until next time, God bless you. Go in peace, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.